Welcome everyone to Beyond Our Reason. It's Jazz Munch, and today we're going to be taking a look at the changes for December. There's a very long list here, so we're going to go through some of these. And the first on the list is a change to the impulse shot. Now, impulse shots are most commonly known by the Pounder and the Janus. Those are where you most commonly will see them. And it is the amount of distance that you shock your target from its original position. So they did a big rework to this system so that a lot of different units now are capable of this impulse shock. With the tremor, you're going to see units bounce back a bit more when hit by the tremor, and also things like the long-range ballista, the ballistic weapons. They're going to shoot and create a concussion as well. So that's for, like, if you're hitting like a medium tank or something, it's going to stun and create like an effect that is more visibly seen. And it also transfers over to basically every unit. It seems like it talked about the gunslinger. There's even a couple more. Let's actually check. It says gunslingers, banisher, fat boy, czar, vanguard. All of these different units have now a concussion shell that will stun the unit that is affected. And also you can see here that the impulse was it was slightly decreased, and the amount for the tremor, it was slightly decreased. Now I think that's largely just a balancing issue there, due to the fact that there was a bit of a buff to impulse and the amount of units that give impulse now. Another thing that I noticed is they said that they raised the HP of, or they raised the mass of units with high HP, and what that's going to do is potentially change with transports. I don't know if it's affected anything or if anyone's seen a change that's like substantial, but potentially that will affect what you can transport, because I believe these transports are limited based on mass, if I remember correctly. It could be either HP or mass, but I believe someone told me that it is mass. So just keep that in mind. Let me know down in the comments if you noticed anything that is affected by this change as far as transports, or maybe it was based on HP and I'm completely incorrect on that. But that's something to be aware of. Another thing is they've reworked the Scuttle. Basically any crawling bombs they've reworked quite significantly. They now cost a bit more metal to produce and a bit more energy to produce, and I believe they cost a little bit less energy to cloak. Yeah, it's down to 15, whereas I believe it was like some crazy amount, like 30 or something. Cloak cost for moving used to be 40 or 400 for a cloaked scuttle. Now it's only 40, so that's quite a reduction in the movement cost for scuttles. This will make them probably more viable. I would imagine they're a lot less of a energy suck from your economy, which could, we'll see if people start to use these on the regular. I know right now they aren't like super commonly used, but the adjustments have been quite good for the Scuttle, I think. So basically what they've done is when a crawling bomb is targeted and destroyed, the destruction power of the bomb is small. It's as if it died normally before the change. But when you target something and attack something, then it will be the same as a self-destruct. So it's like it's essentially making it so you don't have to time the self-destruct perfectly, and just strictly targeting an enemy will create that explosion radius. Give me a second. All right, sorry about that. The baby was crying in the background, if you guys could hear that. Anyway, so that adjustment, I think, will make the Scuttle a bit more powerful, a little bit less micro you have to do there. And then they've also made an adjustment to mines, so that mines cost a little bit more energy to actually maintain the cloak on them. Here, these used to cost they used to cost 0.5 energy per second to keep them cloaked, and they increased it by 50% or by 100%, making it a full energy now for a light mine. And they've also increased the metal cost from 5 to 7. And then with the medium mines, they've increased the metal cost slightly, and then also have that cloak cost tied over as well. And then same with the heavy mines. I don't know why these aren't giving a cloak cost. They should have a cloaked cost. I think that's because maybe they can't afford the cost. Anyway, yeah, so all of the mines got a little bit of a change in the cost per cloaked unit. So it's basically a slight nerf to the mines. I don't know if we'll see that shift how people use them, because they weren't really used heavily in most games, and I don't think we'll see a change there as well. Anyway, so there's a couple kind of unique changes, nothing too crazy, but I know it's a long list, and some of this was a little bit harder to kind of identify what was changed in it. And then also they did change the turn rate of the depth charge for like a destroyer or the cruiser. You can now target the underwater bombs, the underwater crawler bombs like the Scuttle or the Tumbleweed. You could target those more reliably now, so that is a buff to the destroyer, and who knows if that will also make it easier to target commanders and such underwater. It could help with that as well. So just be aware that there's a slight buff to the destroyer depth charge as well. So anyway, that's the changes for December, and it was a long list of unique things, and hopefully you can find some special ways of using these units that maybe haven't really been explored yet. And just let me know down in the comments what you think of these changes, and if you agree with them or disagree. And then if you get value from content like this, definitely be sure to subscribe. Really appreciate that, and I will see you guys on the battlefield.